Харе Кришна, 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 Харе Харе, Харе Рама, Рама Рама, Харе Харе. Nice to see all of you devotees. I really hope that today we will not have any technical issues. Харе Бол, Харе Кришна. Nice to see you. Наратам Прабhuji, Дваракадиш Прабhuji.
Recording in progress.
Mataji Keshvi Palini and others. Manju Bhasini Vishnupriya. Manju Bhasini Vishnupriya.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, who is speaking?
Dwarkadish Prabhu. Just say Hare Krishna.
Prabhu. Okay, Hare Krishna, nice to see you. Okay, I really hope that we will not face any technical issues today. Anyway, let's pray to Krishna. Let's accept it as Krishna is just testing us, testing our patience and our readiness and determination to study Bhakti Shastri course, to study Bhagavad Gita. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svarupa Kadama Yam Dadati Svapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sinubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vas Adigaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, 13th chapter, where we get knowledge about how everything is arranged, who is Krishna and who is living entity, and how Krishna is manifested in everyone's life as Paramatma, and who is conditioned Kshatragya and who is supreme and absolute Kshatragya. And verses from 8 to 12 are about Gyan, or knowledge, which helps one to understand these relationships between material energy, Krishna, and living entity. Knowledge is needed. Verses from 8 to 12, and then verses from 13 to 19 are describing what? Are describing Gyayam, object of knowledge. There is Gyan, there is knowledge, and there is Gyayam, or object which should be understood using this knowledge. So again, let's repeat some basic things, essential things from this purport, from this verses from 8 to 12. Everything starts from Amanitvam Adambhitvam. By mercy of our administrator, you had a chance to listen to Srila Prabhupada's class, right? Because this class was provided, and you have heard some knowledge about all these qualities from these verses from 8 to 12. Everything starts from Amanitvam Adambhitvam, means humility. And the essential quality in this process is Mai Chananya Yogina Bhaktir Avyabhicharini, means unalloyed devotional service, means only by power of devotional service one can understand who Krishna is. It is not theoretical knowledge. And Krishna, as you probably remember from 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is a person, so it is up to him. He takes a decision to whom he is going to reveal himself, and from whom he will be hidden. He will be hidden by his material energy. Likely you remember these verses from 7th chapter, where Krishna tells us about 4 categories of living entities who are about to start their religious life. 4 types of Sukriti Naga, or pious people, and 4 types of people who will never take to Krishna consciousness, who will never become religious people. who will never take to spiritual life. So Krishna is a person. He decides to whom he will reveal himself. And if we want Krishna to reveal himself to us, we should practice devotional service. Then, according to the famous verse from 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stathaiva bhajam yaham. Right? He will reciprocate. He will reveal himself if we do our steps towards Krishna. Then he will make his own steps. And everything, and this list of different qualities is finished by philosophical search. The last point, philosophical search for the absolute truth. And let's see what Srila Prabhupada wrote in the purport regarding this search of absolute truth. Again, everything starts from amanitvam adam hitvam. He gives an analogy that there is a building and there is a staircase and there is ground floor and top floor, and people can use this staircase to reach the first floor, the second one, the third, and so on and so on. But unless one reaches the top floor, which is the understanding of Krishna, he is at a lower stage of knowledge. If anyone wants to compete with God and at the same time make advancement in spiritual knowledge, he will be frustrated, means he will not get the result. Because frustration, it is a particular feeling which we have when we're not about to get what we expect to get. It is clearly stated that without humility, understanding is not truly possible. So the first line in this list, the first point, amanitvam adambhitvam, humility. Everything starts from humility. And the result of all these aspects of transcendental knowledge is that absolute truth is revealed to us. But everything starts from humility. One should be humble. And the opposite quality of humility, of amanitva, is an idea when someone thinks knowingly or unknowingly, he thinks, I am God. I am God. It is ignorant conception. So, the beginning of knowledge, therefore, amanitva, humility, one should be humble and know that he is subordinate to the Supreme Lord. Due to rebellion against the Supreme Lord, one becomes subordinate to material nature. One must know and be convinced of this truth. So, it is also the aspect of humility, that we are able, that we are humble enough to understand that now we are controlled by material energy, and we are also parts and parcels of Krishna. We never can be independent, never can be independent. So if one understands this, the more one understands this, the more humble he is. That's why His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he gives the definition of humility, very simple definition of humility. Humility is reality. Maybe you have heard this. Humility is reality, means to accept these real things, that I'm not a supreme personality of Godhead, that I'm always subordinate to Supreme Lord, and because I was rebellious against Him, so I became a slave of material energy also. It is reality, it is real things, and just to accept this means it means to be humble. One must know and be convinced of this truth. So now we are going to the verses from 13 to 19, where Geyam, or object of knowledge, means Krishna, Paramatma, because this knowledge is meant to understand who Krishna is. So we're going through these verses from 13.13 to 13.19. And okay, maybe Dwarakadish Prabhuji, would you like to read the Sanskrit and translation of this verse?
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Хари Кришна.
Neyam yat tat pravakshyami yach jnanatmamritam asnute anadi mat param brahma nasattan ansat uchyate. Translation: I shall now explain the noble knowing which you will taste the eternal. Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world.
So this...
No need, Prabhu.
No need. No need. Thank you very much. No need. So you see, very important verb in this verse, in the translation of this verse. Taste. You will taste the eternal. Huh? Maybe you remember this verse from 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Raja vidya, Raja guhyam, pavitram idam utamam, pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam, susukam kartum avyayam. Pratyaksha vagamam dharmyam. Pratyaksha means that you can experience this. It is not theoretical knowledge. It means you go on the spiritual path and you can experience something. You can taste. You can feel something, you see. And it is important point. It is not that you will understand something, you will grasp some conception. No, you will taste. You will have real experience of understanding eternity. And the term Brahman is used here. Brahman. Likely you remember that there are three aspects of absolute truth. Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan, right? Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagavan. It is from the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So in this particular verse, 13.13, we use this term Brahman. This term Brahman, it is not about aspect of Krishna. It is about living entity. That's why it is written here that Brahman is subordinate to me. It is about living entity. It is about Jivatma. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that there are two types of Brahman. There is Vijnana Brahma and there is Ananda Brahma. Ananda Brahma means Krishna, means Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Vijnana Brahma means living entity, means Jivatma. So we're going to the next verse, and in the next verse, verse 13.14, the nature of Paramatma, Super Soul, is described. Narottam Prabhuji, please read this verse. Please be kind to read this verse.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Sarvatah pane padam tat, sarvata shiro mukham, sarvata shrunitma loke, sarvam atmritya tishtati.
Okay.
Translation. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the Super Soul exists, pervading everything. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So he is everywhere. It is the description of Super Soul. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada explains again. So you see, it is his strategy, Srila Prabhupada's strategy and Krishna's strategy that these foundation things are repeated again and again for us to understand it better. So again, it is one of the differences between conditioned kshetragya, living entity, and supreme kshetragya, means Krishna. We cannot say that our legs or eyes or faces are everywhere, but Krishna can tell about this. And we have one book. We have one book which is called Srila Prabhupada's Quotes. I will show you this book, and also I would like to share this book with you through our administrator. I will share it with you after the class. And the name of this book is Srila Prabhupada quotes for Bhakti Shastri. It is compiled by Mayapur Institute. By the way, I would like to ask you, maybe Muralidhar Shyam Prabhuji or others, did they provide you this book or not for Bhakti Shastri course? Just tell yes or no. No? Okay. This book I will give you, and it is really helpful. Really helpful because you can get some quotes from here to write your essays. You can also find particular quotes in Bhaktivedanta database, and this book is also quite helpful for us to understand many subject matters regarding our discussion. So here in this book, just one moment, I will push a few buttons.
Prabhu, I have one question, Prabhu.
Yeah, please ask the question.
Yeah. This book and the book which we received for this course, they are not same or different?
Again, please repeat.
The book we received for, for this Bhakti Shastri course, we received from IPO Institute of Spiritual Dedication. And the book which you are now showing, they are same or different?
I suppose it is different books. Actually, I don't know what kind of books you have. No one has.
It's different. It's different. It's different because
It's
for us
different.
it's for the Bhakti Shastri course.
Okay.
Oh,
anyway,
It's a handbook.
Anyway, but the quotes are authoritative. It is Srila Prabhupada's words. So we can use it anyway. So in this quote from the class which was given in Mumbai, in Bombay, 7th of October, 1973, Bhagavad Gita verse 13.14, Srila Prabhupada explains, now if you say Krishna is in the Goloka Vrindavana, far, far away from here, how he accepts, for example, our offerings, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, how he accepts our offering when we are trying to convert bhoga to prasadam, right? And we pronounce these mantras. So how it happens? That is the answer here, that Sarvatah Pani Padam, he has got hands. That is the Vedic injunction. Apani Pado Javana Grihitaha. The absolute Brahman has no hands and legs, but he can accept anything. He can walk everywhere, just contradictory. Pashyati achakshuha. He has no eyes, but he can see everything. That is the difference. He has got his form, that is spiritual form. It is not material, limited form, but he has got his form. One who doesn't understand his unlimited form, Brahman form, Sarvataha, everywhere he can go, everywhere he can see, everywhere he can accept whatever you offer, everywhere he can walk. That is his form, but he is not formless. And of course, there are different manifestations, there are different forms of Krishna that are everywhere. For example, Archa Vigraha or deities, you can put it everywhere. You can bring it with you if you are traveling, and it can be installed in any corner of the globe. It just depends on enthusiasm of devotees. And there is particular manifestation of Krishna or incarnation of Krishna. I mean, sound incarnation, which is available 24/7. Anytime you can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna is the best friend. We can have friends, but there is particular time when we can make a phone call to our friends. But in particular time it is not possible or not acceptable because they are taking rest, our friends. They are sleeping. But Krishna is always available. Of course, there is a recommendation that better you chant your rounds in morning hours. Of course, there is such recommendation. But anyway, any time is suitable. Any time is okay. So he is ready to to be in contact with us if we are ready to be in contact with Him, if we are ready, if we are inspired enough to chant His holy names. So He is everywhere. He is able to listen how do we chant holy names, and it is not so important where we are, which country, which city, which village, and so on and so on. It really means His legs are everywhere, eyes and ears are everywhere, and also we can offer some foodstuff to Supreme Lord using our portable altar, and it really doesn't depend where we are, which country, which city, which village. There is no such idea that Krishna accepts food only if you are offering Boga being on the land of Bharat Mata, Bharat Mata ki Jai. There is no such conception that only in India you can offer. No, any country. That's why this society is called International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Krishna is available everywhere, any country. It just depends on enthusiasm of his devotees, how they are serving to Krishna, and according to how do they serve to Krishna, Krishna will reciprocate accordingly. So in that sense, yes, in some places Krishna is really manifested. So powerfully manifested, like in Mayapur, Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, where the spiritual atmosphere is so manifested. In some places, not so much. It depends, but anyway, his legs, hands, eyes are everywhere. He is always ready to interact with us. The main point is, are we ready to interact with him or not? Dvarkadish Prabhuji, please, your question.
I just want to ask one question, because I don't know much about it. Now we see Lord Krishna has expanded, his energy expanded everywhere throughout the universe. Mm-hmm. We talk about Vrindavan, we talk about Jagannath Puri, we talk about Mayapur. Is there any difference? His energy is spreading more actively and other places very subtly, something like that? Or it is even everywhere? Well, or it is even everywhere, the same energy or something different over there? Because when we go to Mayapur, sorry Prabhu.
Yes.
If we go to Mayapur, we go to Mayapur, we see a lot of differences,
Yeah,
when
there
we
are
come
differences.
out from Mayapur to our country, we are a little bit down.
Yeah, there are differences. You see, it is almost the same, like once two Srila Prabhupada's disciples, Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Mataji Yamuna, I think, they had an argument. What is the difference between Krishna and Balaram? And one of them, he or she was telling that the difference is in the color only. And the opposite side was speaking that there are much more differences. And when they came to Srila Prabhupada to solve this contradiction, Srila Prabhupada told, actually, both of you are right. So if we're speaking about spiritual subject matters, it is interesting because from the point of view of material logic, some points are looks like contradictory, but actually there is no contradiction. Regarding Holy Dham, Vrindavan and Mayapur, from spiritual point of view, are not different from each other, just because Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna and Srimati Radharani combined form. And at the same time, we're speaking about these two dhammas, that there is different mood. That this Mayapur Dham or Navadvip Dham is considered to be Audarya Dham. Audarya Dham, or place where his compassion which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to conditioned souls is manifested. So there are some differences. You can feel some we can feel these differences just being not so much how to say, not so much close to Uttama Adhikari level, but anyway, even being neophytes, we can feel some differences. But from spiritual point of view, there are so-called Dhamma aparadhas, or particular conceptions that are offensive to holy Dham. And one of these Dhamma aparadhas is to consider that there is difference between Vrindavan and Mayapur. So, so it is all the same, and at the same time, not all the same. Narottam Prabhuji, please.
Krishna Prabhuji, sorry, I just intervened here, because I think I read somewhere, or Srila Prabhupada said, pure devotees can get Vrindavan anywhere they go.
Yeah. But again, it will be his own Vrindavan. There are different spiritual masters in ISKCON, and then they reveal their own Vrindavanas, and these Vrindavanas are different from each other, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, it is, you can feel it by interacting with different spiritual masters, spiritual leaders, that they can manifest Vrindavan, but there are differences in their mood. Not so huge differences that cooperation is impossible. It is possible. It is called unity in diversity, right? Unity in diversity. We have different qualities, different moods, but anyway, we're interested in Krishna consciousness, and it is our basis. It is our foundation. So let's go further. The Supreme Lord can extend his hand without limit. The individual soul cannot. The individual soul, just one moment. The individual soul cannot. Of course, you can say that there are particular mystic power that some yogis can have, some siddhis that yogis can have, that they really can take some items from far away, but anyway, it is limited by this particular planet. And Krishna, he is extending his hand from spiritual abode. It is this distance is much more bigger, and he accepts our offerings. Foodstuff, patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, not because of our dedication or spiritual qualification, but mainly because we do this process through the medium of spiritual master, through the medium of pure devotee, spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and so on and so on. So they can attract Krishna's attention, and they can ask, Krishna, please accept this flower, fruit, or little water. And then Krishna accepts our offerings, having all these legs, ears, eyes, faces everywhere. Let's go further. Verse number 15, and well, maybe Taruna Jagannath Das. Taruna Jagannath Das. Would you like to, Taruna Jagannath Prabhuji, would you like to read this verse?
Ken Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sarvendriya gunabasam, sarvendriya vivarjitam, asaktam sarva bracha chaiva, nirgunam guna bhaktacha. Translation.
Yeah.
The Supersoul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all the modes of material nature.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Prabhuji. So likely you remember these two names from first or second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Hrishikesha. Hrishikesha, it is name of Krishna. Hrishikesha means master of senses. And Gudakesha. Gudakesha, it is Arjuna's name. Arjuna was able to conquer his tendency to sleep, and he was ready to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead tirelessly. tirelessly. So Gudakesha and Hrishikesha. Hrishikesha means master of senses. It is Krishna's name. So he is original source of all senses. This name Hrishikesha is very important because it emphasizes that our senses are not ours. These senses are given to us in order that we would use these senses to serve Supreme Lord Krishna. And also here in this verse, today's verse number 15, 13.15, one more quality of Paramatma is mentioned, that he transcends the modes of nature. He is transcendental. And regarding this, I would like to show you one verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which describes the nature of holy name. Because holy name is available everywhere. Paramatma is presented everywhere. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted this holy name to be manifested everywhere. So this verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita 17.133 also describes the nature of holy name in similar way. Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigrahah Purna Shudho Nitya Mukto Binatvan Nama Naminaha. So the meaning is, it is from Padma Purana. The holy name of Krishna is transcendently blissful. It bestows all spiritual benedictions, for it is Krishna himself, the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete, and it is the form of all transcendental mellows. It is not a material name under any condition, and it is no less powerful than Krishna himself. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by material qualities, there is no question of its being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. The same way, like Paramatma is transcendental to three modes of material nature. The same way, this sound vibration is also transcendental. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. This is because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. So in Satya Yuga, as you probably remember, the main religious process or Yuga Dharma was Ashtanga Yoga. And using this Ashtanga Yoga process, the goal of a yogi was to realize a super soul, to be able to see super soul before himself. And it was the perfection of one's life. Not so easy to see super soul. And that's why likely you remember that the duration of one's life in Satya Yuga was quite long, because not so easy using this Ashtanga Yoga process to achieve this desired perfection. But we have not only these books which we study in Bhakti Shastri course, like Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, and so on. We also have some small books, and based on Srila Prabhupada's classes. And in one of these books, Srila Prabhupada wrote that that sometimes people are inclined to overestimate their vision. Overestimate their vision means they want to see Supreme Personality of Godhead. If I'm able to see, if I have seen Supreme Lord, then I will believe that Supreme Lord exists. But we have five senses. We not only vision we also have this power to hear different sounds. So basically there is no difference. One can not just see Supreme Personality of Godhead, but also he is available for hearing. Supreme Personality of Godhead is available for hearing. We can chant these holy names. And by arrangement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can achieve spiritual perfection by chanting holy names in a shorter time, in much more shorter time than it was previously in Satya Yuga. using this Ashtanga yoga process. Basically, there is no difference. Paramatma is everywhere. Holy name is also anytime, everywhere is available and will reciprocate with us. And Paramatma is transcendental to three modes of material nature. And Shri Krishna in form of holy name also non-different from Krishna. Holy name is not different from Krishna himself, and he also transcendental to three modes of material nature. So all these different yuga dharmas according to a particular yuga, Satya, Dvapara, Treta, Kali yuga. Processes are different, but it is basically about all the same. It is about Krishna. So let's go back to the purport of this verse number 15. Yeah, Dwarkadish Prabhuji, please.
We understand about Krishna's name is transcendental, supreme. Yeah. What about other names? Like the Lord is having millions of names like Govinda, Madhava, and all these, Will that be equivalent or it will be something different over there?
Yeah, there are two categories. A very important question. There are two categories of names. It is mentioned in Sri Harinama Chintamani book written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There are main names and there are, secondary category of names. Main category, it is names which are used in spiritual abode, like Govinda, Gopal, Nanda Duval, Keshava Yadava, Nanda Duval, and we have the whole bhajan Vibhava Rishisha, Aloka Pravisha, and so on, which basically compiled from Krishna's names only. And these names are related to Krishna's Leelas. So it is main category of names. And of course, these names contains all these rasas related to these leelas. And there is another category of names, which is secondary, and it is names where Supreme Lord is described in his relation, in his interaction with material world. Like, for example, Master or Savior, or a proprietor, supreme proprietor, all the things that where Supreme Lord is described as that he controls everything, that he is most powerful, and so on and so on. Aishwarya Bhav, he is great, all these things. So there is difference between these two categories of names. The first one is about spiritual abode, and those who come here time to time to give this spiritual message to us, Paritranaya Sadunam Vinashaya Chadushkritam, they also give this knowledge about these very specific transcendental names related to Krishna Lila, Chaitanya Lila. And there is another category where knowledge of about Supreme Personality of Godhead is not so much revealed. Just these aspects that he controls everything, that he is the great, and so on and so on. Thank you very much for a nice question.
One more question. Sorry,
Okay. Yeah.
What about Gauranga in Krishna? Because we know Vishnu, 1000 Vishnu equal to Rama, 3 names of Rama equal to Krishna. But what about Gauranga and Krishna? Are they same level or any difference over there?
Gauranga, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. I already told you this verse, which means that Gauranga or Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means Krishna plus Srimati Radharani together, combined form. So in that sense, Gauranga is
same level. Same level.
No. Krishna is, if we are speaking about Krishna without Srimati Radharani, it is one story. It is if Krishna plus Srimati Radharani equal to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very simple. Thank you for nice questions. Okay, we are going further. So he is master of all modes of material nature. By the way, Sarveshvara, Sarva Ishvara. means he is master of everything. If we will use this name, it is not name. It is name which is about material world basically. It likely it is from second category. This name will belong to the second category. So there are different names. Srila Prabhupada is very merciful. He gave us Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which contains from the most important and most powerful names that are prescribed for Age of Kali by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let me check my notes. Just one moment. Okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He is Hrishikesha. He has transcendental, uncontaminated senses. It is also one of the differences between Krishna and Jiva. He has uncontaminated transcendental senses. We have conditioned senses. We have material senses. So, what to do? Because the nature of senses is different. The nature of senses of a conditioned living entity, material senses, and he has transcendental senses. So how to interact? That's why I would like to show you one more verse from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which explains us how it works. It is verse 17, Madhya Lila 17, 136. Атак Шри Кришна Намади набавит грахям индриях, севон мукехи джихвадоу своям эва спуратя дага. It is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu or from Nectar of Devotion, which you also are going to study in this Bhakti Shastri course. Material senses cannot appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. So basically, it means what? We have these conditioned senses covered by material energy. And because of that, not so easy to appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, pastimes. For example, we take our Japamala, and it is not that always we experience taste for holy name. Sometimes it can be boring for us. Sometimes it is tasteful. Sometimes it is interesting to listen Krishna Lila. Sometimes there is no interest. And it is the influence of material energy. What should one do? One should use his tongue to serve Krishna. Sivon muke hi jihvado. Sivon, seva, service. Muke hi jihvado. Jihva means tongue. And there are two types of the service which one should perform to make himself eligible to appreciate Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, and pastimes. One should chant holy name of the Lord. And one should taste the remnants of the Lord's food, means Krishna Prasadam. So in Bhagavad Gita, I think it is in 6th chapter, in one of the purports, Srila Prabhupada wrote that we're going through this medical treatment, and this medical treatment includes two things, medicine and diet. Maybe you remember this purport. Medicine means holy name of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Holy name of Krishna. And diet means particular food, prescriptions regarding what to eat, what not to eat. The main prescription to take prasadam only. To offer all foodstuff to Krishna. Otherwise, our medical treatment will not give, will be not so much successful. If we take, sometimes we take prasadam, sometimes we take something else, or chanting of the holy name. So how we can make our senses to be able to appreciate to appreciate who Krishna is, to chant holy names, to take prasadam, and then one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. This word gradually is really important. It will not happen immediately. It takes time to purify our senses. That's why in Nectar of Instruction you will find this verse, Utsaha Nishchaya Daryat, qualities that are needed for advancement in spiritual life. The third verse of Nectar of Instruction, Utsaha Nishchaya Daryat. Daryat means tolerance, patience. One should understand that this spiritual process takes time. It is not that everything will happen immediately. It takes time. So, again, there are some qualities, basically, in this purport, there are some qualities on which you can meditate when you chant holy names of Krishna, for example. There are some qualities, like, for example, he has his eternal form called Satchitananda Vigraha. He is full of all opulence. He is the proprietor of all wealth and the owner of all energy. He is the most intelligent and is full of knowledge. These are some symptoms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the maintainer of all living entities and the witness of all activity. It is about his senses. When we chant holy names, we can meditate on these particular qualities that Krishna has. It will be easier for us to chant holy names if we understand something about the person whose name we chant. Okay, let's go further. Let's find someone who is going to read verse for us. For example, Manju Bhashini Vishnu Priya Mataji. Would you like to read the verse? Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Shloka 16.
Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu. Bahur antischa bahuttana charam evacha suksma tvat
Better you switch off the video, otherwise sound is broken. You know, your internet is not good. You switch off the video and read the translation. Hari Hari.
Shall I, Prabhu?
Yes, please read the translation.
The supreme truth exists outside and the... Okay. The supreme truth exists outside and the inside of all living beings, the moving and the non-moving, because he is stable, he is on the nor to know. So far, far away. He is also near to all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So you see, likely you can see that I'm trying to find some connections between this Bhagavad Gita and other 3 books that you are going to study during this course. So this verse is, the meaning or the essence of this verse is very close to one of the verses from Sri Shapanishad, which you also are going to study, where it is said that Krishna is moving and he is not moving. He is far away from us and he is with us. He is nearby. So these statements are meant to break this material logic which people are trying to use to understand different subject matters. Because from materialistic point of view, it is not logical. If someone is far away, then how he can be nearby? If we're speaking about Krishna, it is possible because he is always nearby as a super soul. His expansion of super soul is nearby, and we are always under his supervision. And at the same time, he is always engaged in his eternal leelas on spiritual planets. How it is possible? It is possible because he is not just personality, but he is supreme personality of Godhead. What is the difference between supreme personality and ordinary personality? Ordinary personality is limited, but supreme personality can do different things. So he is outside and he is inside of all living beings. It means he is inside in the sense that as all-pervading Paramatma, he is everywhere, and he is outside in the sense that he is not controlled by material energy. In that sense, he is aloof. He is on the distance from material creation. It is a very interesting situation, very interesting position of Supreme Lord. And that's why here in this verse 13.16 we can find in the third line of Sanskrit verse, we can find the word avigeyam, which means unknowable, unconceivable, avigeyam. It is quite funny because these verses from 13.13 till 13.19, they describe geyam, object of knowledge. And here in this verse, we're about to get to know that geyam is actually avigeyam. This object of knowledge is unconceivable, is unknowable. Previously, we had a hope that we will understand who Krishna is, but in this verse, it is written avigeyam, or there is another name of Krishna, adokshaja. Adokshaja means unconceivable for material senses. Again, Atak Shri Krishna Namadina Bhavit Grahyam Indriyaik, that verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Material senses are not suitable for to understand who Krishna is. It is one point. The second point, it is from 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Maybe you remember that Krishna, it is up to him to decide to whom he is going to reveal himself. If he doesn't want to reveal himself to someone, then he is avigeyam, to absolute avigeyam for living entity. And then living entity, foolishly, he declares, I'm not able to see Supreme Personality of Godhead. It means there is no Supreme Personality of Godhead. No, it is not that there is no Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just we don't have senses that are meant to see Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why when some people, they were asking Srila Prabhupada, can you show me God? Srila Prabhupada was answering, do you have eyes? Do you have eyes to see God? That is the question. Atak Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhavit Grahyam Indriyaik. That's why using this process of devotional service, we're trying to prepare our consciousness and our senses to perceive and to appreciate who Krishna is. He is avigeyam, he is unknowable, but at the same time, it is written here in the purport, avigeyam means he is beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. So the solution is to prepare our senses to be able to perceive who he is. And in purport, Bhagavad Gita verse 11.54 is quoted, Bhakti Atvananya Sakya Aham Evam Vidhorjuna Gyatum drashtum cha tatvina praveshtum cha parantapa. Which means, my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. To chant holy names, it is already devotional service. And to take prasadam is also devotional service. Sometimes we can think that what kind of devotional service it is. I'm just taking prasadam for my own satisfaction, to fill my belly and so on. But if we understand that prasadam is Krishna, and if we understand that holy name is Krishna, then it is much more effective for our spiritual life. Bhagavad Gita 13.17. And Mataji Keshavi Palini, would you like to read this verse?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Avibhaktam cha bhutesu vibhaktam eva cha sthitam bhuta bharta cha tach nayam gracisno prabha vishnu cha.
Okay.
Translation. Although the super soul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Although he is the maintainer of every living entity, it is to be understood that he devotes and develops all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You see, he is maintainer, he is developer, and he is one who annihilates everything. So this creation, material creation, goes through 3 stages. Creation, which is related to Rajagun, to mode of passion creation. Then maintenance, where Sattvagun, or mode of what? Mode of goodness is needed. And annihilation or destruction, where Tamagun, or mode of ignorance, is used. So, of course, there is secondary creator, Lord Brahma, and there is Lord Shiva, who is engaged in the process of destruction. But ultimately, everything is controlled and everything is done by Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna. If something is done by Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, we should understand that it was just delegated to these powerful demigods. These functions were delegated to them. But basically it is himself, Krishna himself, who is doing everything. And he is never divided. Nice example, nice analogy is given here in purport, that you can see sun on the sky, and the sun at the meridian is situated in its place. But if one goes for 5,000 miles in all directions and asks, where is the sun? Everyone will say that it is shining on his head. In the Vedic literature, this example is given. Means it is original, it is traditional, authentic example, authentic analogy, very authoritative Vedic analogy. This example is given to show that although he is undivided, he is situated as if divided. Sometimes this analogy is used to explain that there are different religious traditions in which, and in these traditions, Supreme Lord is explained or described in different ways, or rituals can be different in different religious traditions. But anyway, the sun is only one, and Supreme Lord is also only one. It is the same argument, the same analogy that, of course, we cannot say Indian sun, American sun, Russian sun, and Australian sun. We cannot say like this. We can say like this maybe only in meaning that in particular country, particular climate, particular temperature is there, and that's why how this energy of sunlight is manifested on particular area. It can be different from one place to another place. Like African sun is different from sun in North Russia, for example. But the sun is the only one. Like we had to skip our Friday's class because of Kyrgyzstan sun, Kyrgyzstan's sun. Because of a high temperature, this electricity was not available. This electrical equipment was not working for some time just because of the influence of this temperature, of this climate. But anyway, Sun is always Sun and Supreme Lord is always Supreme Lord. There can be different religious traditions or different rituals. If we understand that we are under the same Sun, then there is no reason for any religious fightings or conflicts and so on and so on. Unfortunately, for some people it is not so easy to understand that Supreme Lord is only one, because their attempts to follow religious principles can be just an aspect of their bodily conception. I was born in this country, that's why my traditional religion here is such and such, Muslim religion or Christianity or whatever. But anyway, this religious subject matters, it is related to the soul, it is not related to the body. It is important point to understand. So he is maintainer, he is creator, he is annihilator, and in this purport, the 11th chapter is mentioned, where Krishna was manifesting his power of destruction. And he told Arjuna, actually everything is already planned, is already predestined. So now you can be just an instrument in my hands. Just do your job, just fight with these Kauravas, and then you will be glorious. It is my plan for you. So in 11th chapter we can see the example how he manifests his destructive power. Everything comes from Krishna, including destructive power. And our friends, Russian Christians, they say, oh, you see, this Krishna is actually devil because he is destructing everything. So don't go to this Hare Krishna movement. It is not, it is godless movement, and it is actually devil himself. So it is their way to inspire Christians to follow Christianity just by denying other religious traditions. We are going to the next verse number 13.18, and let's choose someone. Sarvalokapati Krishna Prabhu. Can you read the verse? Is it possible? Would you like to read the verse?
Prabhu, I'm still driving, Prabhu.
Driving. Okay. Good luck. Okay. Yeah, that's normal. Slow drive, safe life. Okay. Bhakti Priya Madhavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. 13.18. Jyotishaamapi tajyotistamasah paramuchyate jnanam jneyam jnanagamyam hridhi sarvasya vishtitam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge. And he is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So again, this verse is so nice because in this verse it is written almost the same which is written in the famous verse 15.15. Let's compare. Here he is saying in this verse 13.18 that he is situated in everyone's heart, and he is object of knowledge, and he is goal of knowledge, and he is knowledge himself. And now we are going to the verse 15.15, and what we can find here. By the way, this verse 15.15 is for memorization. Traditionally, it is for memorization. Very important verse. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishto matach smritir gyanam apochanam cha. Vidaischa sarvair aham eva video vedanta krit vedavit. eva chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. So you see almost the same. Just one more detail, that Krishna is the source of remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. He controls not all the universes, but he also controls our consciousness. Our consciousness is also controlled by Krishna, by material energy, by Krishna through the medium of material energy, according to the Krishna's decision of how much material energy will be influencing on us and on our life. So he controls our consciousness, means we can have some capacities, we can have good memory, for example, we can be very knowledgeable, but there is no need and there is no reason to become proud because of this, because knowledge, forgetfulness, remembrance, everything comes from Krishna. If he wants, we will be able to memorize something, to understand something. It is not that we do it just by our own decision. Kartaham iti manite. It is not that we are doers. It is Krishna's arrangement that we are able to memorize something, to analyze something, and so on and so on. He is also the source of light in all luminous objects. It means, in purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that in spiritual world, because effulgence of the Supreme Lord is there, because of that, there is no need of sun or moon. Just this light, original light from Supreme Lord is reflecting everywhere, and that's why everything is, there is nothing which is in the darkness. In spiritual world, no one is in the darkness of nescience. But in material world, this Brahmanda, this universe is like an egg, like an egg, like something which is closed, which is covered. That's why this idea that we are sitting in the darkness of nescience is real, because Brahmanda is compared to egg which is closed, and no ray can come inside. But Krishna is very merciful. Sometimes he comes to material world, to one universe, to another universe, time to time, just out of his compassion and kindness. He gives this spiritual knowledge to living entities who are for a long time they are sitting in this darkness of ignorance, and then he comes and Paritranaya sadunam, vinashacha dushkritam, dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Dharma samsthapanarthaya, he gives religious principles. So there is no need of any moonlight or sunlight in spiritual world, but in material world, this Brahma Jyotir, or Lord's spiritual effulgence, is covered by Mahat Tattva. The material elements is covered by these material elements. Therefore, in this material world, we require the assistance of sun, moon, electricity, etc. for light. Otherwise, there is no comfort for our life, and there is no Zoom classes if there is no electricity. We really depend on these energies that are given to us, ultimately given by Krishna. We really depend on Krishna. He gives us everything. He is situated in everyone's heart as the supreme controller again and again, and his legs and hands distributed everywhere, and this cannot be said of the individual soul. So again, there are two kshetragyas, individual soul and super soul. One's hands and legs are distributed locally, but Krishna's hands and legs are distributed everywhere. Living entity, individual living entity, never can say that he is distributed everywhere. We are not distributed everywhere. We're just distributed somewhere. Let's go to the next verse 13.19, and let's ask, just one moment. Sarvadevi Radhika Mataji. Would you like to read the verse?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Iti kshetram tata jnanam neyam choktam samashataha mad bhakta etat vignaya mad bhava yopa patyate. Translation.
Yeah.
Thus the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only by my devotees can understand these thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you see, field of activities or the body or kshetra, it was described in verses. You can write in your notes if you wish. It was mentioned in verses 6 and 7. And then knowledge was described in verses from 8 to 12. And the knowable or Geyam, knowable who is unknowable. he is called knowable, but he is unknowable unless we practice devotional service. He is unknowable. He is Avigeyam, he is Adokshaja. No one can understand who he is. Anyway, Geyam or Krishna or Paramatma was described in the verses from 13 to 18. And plus, devotional service is needed. Krishna explains this here in the verse. Only my devotees can understand it. Only devotees. Means that someone can read these purports, these verses from Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, but without practice of devotional service, it cannot be understood properly. When Srila Prabhupada came to the West, it was about 600 of different purports to Bhagavad Gita written by different people. It could be purports written by scientists, by some spiritual practitioners. But anyway, because most of those spiritual practitioners were Mayavadis, there was no impetus. There was no impetus in this text, in this book. No impetus and no guidance for people to make them devotees. That's why when Srila Prabhupada came here on the West and then all around the globe, he was traveling. He gave these books and he also facilitated this process of devotional service. Otherwise, this theoretical knowledge would not help us if we would be just reading books and would not practice devotional service. It would be just theoretical knowledge. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada writes the following. We're being led by material consciousness, but as soon as we transfer our consciousness to Krishna's activities and realize that Krishna is everything, then we attain real knowledge. In other words, knowledge is nothing but the preliminary stage of understanding devotional service perfectly. In the 15th chapter, this will be very clearly explained. 15th chapter, which is called Purushottama Yoga. Purushottama Yoga. Purushottama, Purusha, Uttama. Uttama means highest. Purusha means Lord. And it is about Krishna. That he is the root of all existence. Material existence, spiritual existence. He is the root of everything. Very nice analogy of a tree of existence. Material existence is given there. And Krishna is compared to the root of this tree. But we will discuss it later when we will be discussing 15th chapter. So there are different comparisons, different analogies. Sometimes Krishna is compared to the sun, sometimes he is compared to the root. And it is interesting. It is Vedic culture to use different analogies to help people to understand these difficult philosophical conceptions in the easiest way, just by giving different analogies. And we're going to the next part of our chapter. It is Bhagavad Gita verses from 20 to 26. And in these verses, interactions between Prakriti, Purusha, and Purushottama are described. And it is what we are going to discuss now. And on the verse 13.26, we will stop today, and we will continue on Friday. Now we're going to discuss 6 verses more, and the last verses of 13th chapter and the next chapter. Also, it will be discussed on Friday, day after tomorrow. Bhagavad Gita 13.20. Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Vidhyanadi Ubhavapi Vikaram Scha Gunam Chaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. When we're speaking about living entities in this particular verse, we're not speaking about their bodies, we're speaking about them as jivatmas or souls. Souls. There is kshetra, there is kshetragya. Kshetra means body, kshetragya as an individual soul is the soul which is situated in particular body. So soul is eternal, as we know from the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Material nature is also eternal. It is like, of course it goes through the processes of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Different material universes are going through these processes again and again. We construct something, we maintain it, then we annihilate this. It is like, like children, they can use some bricks to construct the houses when they play. Okay, let me construct the house, and they are playing with these small bricks. They are constructing house, then they can destroy this house, but these bricks are always there, sometimes in the form of house, sometimes not in the form of house. The same way, material nature from which everything is created is always there, sometimes in form of pradhan. Pradhan means means disassembled condition, not in the form of something which is constructed. Pradhan. And if you want to know more about Pradhan, you take Bhakti Vaibhava course. You take Bhakti Vaibhava course because in the 3rd canto of Bhagavatam, this knowledge is given about material nature, material energy, how everything is created. Lord Kapila Dev is explaining this science of Sankhya Yoga. If you wish, you can take Bhakti Vaibhava course after this course. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that about these interactions of how everything interacts. Again, Prakriti, Purusha, Purushottama. Prakriti means material energy. Purusha, in this particular case, it means living entity. Purusha in the sense that living entity is trying to control and he is trying to enjoy life. And Purushottama, Purusha Uttama, or the highest controller, it is about Krishna. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, material nature was absorbed in the spiritual personality of Godhead Mahavishnu, and when it was required, it was manifested by the agency of the Mahatattva. Similarly, the living entities are also in him, and because they are conditioned, they are averse to serve the Supreme Lord. To be conditioned means that this desire that I want to serve Supreme Lord, this desire is not always there, or always is not there. It means to be conditioned. Thus, they are not allowed to enter into the spiritual sky. But with the coming forth of material nature, these living entities are again given a chance to act in the material world and prepare themselves to enter into the spiritual world. Again, if we are speaking about this pradhan or this material energy in disassembled condition, it is not just bricks from which the house will be built on the next stage of creation, but these parts of creation also includes living entities, jivatmas. If they were not liberated, if they didn't go to the spiritual abode, then by the moment of annihilation of material universe, of material universe, they will be there with all these bricks and other parts, other material elements, in unconscious condition. And then when time comes to construct this universe again, they will come to the senses again. This point is very important. These living entities are again given a chance to act in the material world and prepare themselves to enter into the spiritual world. This statement from the purport can be a little bit bewildering for some people, because people can say, okay, we're here in material world, but our main purpose here is that we decided to live without Krishna. So why it is written here that now in this process of material creation, the chance for us to prepare ourselves to enter in the spiritual world, this chance is given to us again. Why we're speaking about this chance if material world mainly is created for us to enjoy? Such question can be there. So the answer on this question is given in the verse number 2:10:6, Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. Just one moment, I will change the language from Russian to English. Srimad Bhagavatam 2:10:6. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that actually this material world was created for two purposes. Just one moment. This place. The ever-conditioned souls are apt to develop a mentality of lording over the material nature. And therefore, the material cosmic creation is manifested to give the ever-conditioned souls two kinds of facilities. One facility is that the conditioned soul can act according to his tendency to lord it over the cosmic manifestation. And the other facility gives the conditioned soul a chance to come back to Godhead. So this material universe, material world, which is just 25% of all creation, 25% is material world and 75% is spiritual dimension. This 25% of material world is created for two purposes. One purpose is about that, okay, Jiva, okay, my eternal part and parcel, you decided to be independent, okay, try to be independent. It is one purpose. The second purpose is that when living entity will understand that it is not possible to be independent and to be happy without Krishna at the same time. So the second purpose is there to help living entity to come back to the spiritual world. So that's why this playground was created for us, for rebellious children. This playground was created for us that we could try to be happy without Krishna, and then naturally this desire to come back to Krishna will be there. But again, how we can get this desire to come back to Krishna, we cannot generate this desire by ourselves. It is only by good fortune if we meet devotees of Krishna in our life, then they can share this desire with us. We're so dependent. Living entity is trying to be independent, but actually so dependent also in this regarding his or her desires, because some desires you cannot generate just according to your own will, generate in your own heart. No, you cannot take this desire. You can take this desire only from association with those who already have the spiritual desires. So living entity is trying to be independent, but this dependence is on each and every step. Actually, the living entity is originally the spiritual part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, but due to his rebellious nature, he is conditioned within material nature. And let's read some more verses where our position is described in more details. Verse 13.21. Okay, let's choose someone. Just let me choose someone who is going to read. Okay, G. Divya. Would you like to read? G. Divya.
Yes, Prabhu.
By the way,
Yes.
what does it mean? G. G means what?
It's an initial, Prabhu.
Okay. Please.
My father's initial.
Very good. Yeah, please read the verse.
Yes, Prabhu. 13.21. Karya karana kartritve hetua prakritir uchyate purushaha sukha dukkhanam bhokritve hetur uchyate. Translation.
Okay.
Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much. So this verse about our responsibility for our own life, and who is responsible for our sufferings, our enjoyments, and so on. And sometimes some people can say, why Supreme Lord doesn't take care of me? What he is doing now? If he would be there, he would take care of me, and so on and so on. Some people can blame Supreme Personality of Godhead that something wrong, according to their understanding, something wrong is going on in their lives. And some people can say that it is because of Maya, because of this tricky Maya, tricky material nature, I'm suffering, and so on. But here in this verse, it is mentioned that the living entity himself or herself is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. And regarding this verse, we can tell you a short story of His Holiness Srila Sachinandana Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada's disciple. Likely you know him, Sachinandana Swami. So when he was just starting his spiritual life, he decided, let me ask Srila Prabhupada a particular question, and according to the answer which I will get on this question, I will understand, should I accept Srila Prabhupada as my spiritual master, or I should not. So he was thinking for some time what kind of question it should be, such so-called test question for Guruji. It is normal. They are testing each other. Guru is testing his candidate for discipleship, and disciple also observe and testing, not challenging, but testing spiritual master. So he asked Srila Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada gave the class and he told, does someone has questions? Sachinandana Swami Maharaj, he asked the following question: if Krishna so much likes us, if he really wants us to come back to his spiritual abode. Why he created this Maya, why he created this material energy, which is controlling us and limiting us and torturing us. Why he created this material energy Maya. And Srila Prabhupada responded in very specific way. He pointed out on Shachinandana Swami Maharaj and he told, you created Maya. It is, you did it, you created. What does it mean? It means that each and every living entity has his particular personal Maya, personal karmic history, personal desires, material desires from time immemorial. We have this karmic history, and because of this karmic history, we get some situations in this life, in past lives, in future we will get some circumstances, situations, and so on. But in Nectar of Devotion, it is said that there is a solution how we can become free from this karma. Aprarabdha karma means karma which is not manifested, but this karma is waiting for us, and it will be manifested in future. How we can burn this karma? We can burn this karma by chanting holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We can burn some part of our gradually. We can burn our karmic history, not just karmic history which is related to sinful activities, but also the very root, the very desire to commit sinful activities also can be burned by chanting of holy names of Krishna. So powerful holy names of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna are. So the responsibility is on the living entity. We're suffering, we're enjoying, and it is related to the analogy of two birds on the branch of a tree. Maybe you remember this analogy. Two birds. One bird is taking the fruits of this tree, and another bird is just observing this process, how the first one is taking these fruits, these berries on the tree. And this analogy is very simple. The bird who is observing is super soul. It is Krishna. He is Krishna. And the bird who is taking and eating these berries from the tree, it is individual soul. And sometimes these berries are sweet. Sometimes these berries are disgusting. It is karma. It is karma. So living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyment in this world, and nature, material nature, is the cause of all material causes and effects. It means that there is material nature which works like a mechanism which helps one to fulfill their material desires and to get some portion of happiness and distress in this material world. Material nature provides all these things, but it is provided according to the desires that living entity has now or living entity had in the past. And our problem, the biggest problem, is that we don't remember what we wanted in our past, what we wanted in our past lives. It could be really strange desires. And if in that previous life there were no particular circumstances to fulfill these desires, but anyway, material nature, which is under control of Krishna, will provide the satisfaction of these desires in future, next lifetime, or after few lifetimes. So that's why it is important point regarding our spiritual life. Dear devotees, be careful with your desires. Be careful with your desires, otherwise some of these desires can be fulfilled And sometimes we don't know what desires are good for us, and what desires are not what desires are good, what desires are not good. We are not so much knowable. But Krishna is trikalagya. Trikalagya. He knows past, present, and future. Means he knows what is best for us. And to be devotee means to rely on Krishna. Krishna knows what is better for me. It means that if he didn't fulfill some of my desires, maybe it is even better. Maybe it is even better than he would fulfill. Maybe. Usually it takes time. It can take years or even decades to understand how Krishna is guiding us through this journey of our life. And after some time, after some years or decades, we can analyze what was going on in our life. And we can easily see that we were under Krishna's protection, and he was taking care of us, and still he is taking care of us. But in particular moment, to understand immediately what's going on, what is Krishna's plan, and so on and so on, it is not so easy, because for that much broader perspective is needed. Krishna is trikalagya. He knows past, present, future, but we know just something. We know just something about something. We know just something about something. We are quite limited in our knowledge. So in purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that, where it is? He gives the analogy. According to one's desires and activities, material nature places one in various residential quarters. The being himself is the cause of his attaining such residential quarters, and his attendant enjoyment or suffering. Once placed in some particular kind of body, it means residential quarters. Quite interesting, right? Kshetra can be also known as residential quarter, means that we are here in this particular material body just for some period of time. It is the apartment for us to stay here for some time, for a few decades. And then, according to our activities in this lifetime, it depends what we will get next lifetime. Or maybe we will not get any lifetime in material world. Maybe we will go directly to Krishna. It's also possible if we will try our best and if mercy will be bestowed on us. Once placed in some particular kind of body, he comes under the control of nature, because the body, being matter, acts according to the laws of nature. At that time, the living entity has no power to change that law. Suppose an entity is put into the body of a dog. As soon as he is put into the body of a dog, he must act like a dog. He cannot act otherwise. And if the living entity is put into the body of a hog, then he is forced to eat stool and act like a hog. Similarly, if the living entity is put into the body of a demigod, he must act according to his body. It is how material energy is controlling us. Particular body is given, and you have no way out. You have to act in particular way. Someone is getting male body, someone is getting female body. If you have got male body, you cannot act like a woman. It will be quite difficult. And in the opposite side also. Some people, they are trying to change something in their bodies. There are such people, but it is absolutely unnatural, and it will not help them to become happy. Just by these attempts to break the laws of material nature. Srimad Bhagavatam 3:26, 8. Very important point regarding this process. How do we get material bodies? It is not according to our desire. It is according to the arrangement of material nature. The living entity is the cause of his own suffering, but he can also be the cause of his eternal happiness. Would you like to become a cause of your own eternal happiness, dear devotees? Would you like to become a cause of your own eternal, it is here, of your eternal happiness? There is a chance. So this verse, which we read from 13th chapter, it is about our own responsibility for spiritual life, about that we should take Krishna consciousness seriously. It depends on us. We will become cause of our own suffering or our own eternal happiness. When he wants to engage in Krishna consciousness, a suitable body is offered to him by the internal potency, the spiritual energy of the Lord. And when he wants to satisfy his senses, a material body is offered. So the difference is, there is Krishna, he is Hrishikesha, he is master of senses. So to whose senses one wants to serve? To his own senses separately from Krishna, or to senses of Supreme Personality of Godhead? This choice is there. Thus, it is his free choice to accept a spiritual body or a material body, but once the body is accepted, he has to enjoy or suffer the consequences. The Mayavadi philosopher's presentation is that the living entity enjoys his pastimes by accepting the body of a hog. It is Mayavada philosophy. Their philosophy is that all of us, we are Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are absolute, and if someone has taken form of a dog or hog or whatever, it is my divine lila. It is my divine lila. I'm a god. It is my divine lila that now I'm barking on people. It is Mayavad philosophy. This theory is not acceptable, however, because the word pastime implies voluntarily acceptance for enjoyment. Therefore, this interpretation is most misleading. When there is unforced acceptance for suffering, it is not a pastime. Krishna comes here to this material world time to time according to his schedule. He does it absolutely voluntarily. It is his own decision. Lila means that something which happens voluntarily. The Lord's pastimes and the conditioned living entity's acceptance of karmic reaction are not on the same level. So here in this purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 3.26.8, Srila Prabhupada again, he defeats Mayavada philosophy, which is his mission to defeat Mayavada philosophy is mentioned in his pranama mantra, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Dashatarine. He came to this material world also to defeat Mayavad philosophy, to defeat Shunyavad philosophy. And we're going to the next verse, verse number 13.22, which is also meant for memorization according to Bhakti Shastri standards. This verse is very important. Bhagavad Gita 13.22, where the journey of a conditioned soul in material world is described. Purushah prakriti strohi, bhunkte prakriti jan gunan, karanam guna sangasya, sada sad yoni janmasu. Yoni means womb. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. Very important verse. Follows the ways of life, enjoying three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Association with material nature means we have these senses. which are covered by material energy, and we interact with different sense objects that are around us. And this interaction gives us karmic experience. And because of that karmic experience, one cannot get out from samsara, because we get new and new samskaras, new and new impressions, karmic impressions and karmic desires, that and materialistic taste. And because of that, living entity has to remain in material world just because of association with material nature. So it is situation when one cannot get out just voluntarily by according to his own will. That's why Pramanda Brahmitekona, Bhagavan Jiva, Krishna Guru Prasadapaya Bhaktivata Bija, it is verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, that living entity is roaming here and there in material universe, and then he becomes Bhagavan Jiva, he becomes fortunate soul because he meets spiritual master, representative of Krishna, and Krishna Guru Prasadapaya Bhaktivata Bija, spiritual master gives him Bhakti Lata Bija, and because of Bhakti Lata Bija, he can progress spiritually. Bhakti Lata Bija, basically, it means the very desire to progress spiritually in Krishna consciousness. This seed of devotional service, he gives this desire, he gives to the living entity. Bhakti itself is not something which is artificial to our nature. It is not something which is given to us from outside. It is already inside. It is natural position, natural condition of a living entity, as you will study in Nectar of Devotion. But this seed of devotion, this impetus from spiritual master, this desire to serve Krishna, which will awaken our original nature of part and parcel of Krishna, it is needed. It is needed. Someone should awake a living entity who is sleeping under the laps of witch called Maya. Jiv Jago, Gaurachandra Bolia, Kota Nidra Jao Maya, Pishachira Koля. It is bhajan given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where he is saying that living entity is sleeping on the laps of Maya. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Jiv Jago means wake up, wake up. So he came, he gave holy name, means that if we are in samsara, we have no choice. We have just to associate with material nature, and this material nature will not allow us to get out from samsara. But Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came and he gave us a chance to associate with Krishna in form of holy name, to Krishna who is transcendental to three modes of material nature. He is transcendental as Gyayam, as Paramatma, he is transcendental to three modes of material nature. And we're going to the next verse number 23. And also, this verse is also for memorization. Usually it is also used for memorization. Mataji Mira, would you like to read this verse? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Upadarashta numantacha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara Parama Meti Chapi Ukto Dehe Ashmin Purusha Para. Translation. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Super Soul.
Hare Krishna. So you see, we can have different desires. These desires are there because of our association with material nature. We associate with material nature, we get material desires, which will help us to remain the slaves of in samsara. Or we can associate with devotees, and in such way we can get spiritual desires which will help us to get out from samsara. And in this verse 13.23, the role of Paramatma in this process of fulfillment of our desires is described. Upadrashta anumantacha. Upadrashta means he is looking after us. He always knows what we are doing. He is supervising us. We are under his control. And Anumanta, as you can see on the screen in word-by-word translation, Anumanta means permitter, means if any desire that we have, if any desire is fulfilled, ultimately it is just because Krishna decided, okay, let this desire to be fulfilled. He is controlling this process. He is observing what's going on in our heart, in our consciousness, what do we want from this life, and then he is ordering to material energy, who is working like a mechanism for fulfillment of innumerous desires of innumerous living entities in the material world. So Supreme Lord, he gives orders to material nature, and material nature is providing everything to each and every living entity. Bharta Bhokta Maheshwaraha. Bhokta means supreme enjoyer. Bharta means master. Paramatmiti Chapyukto Dehesmin Purushach Parach. Okay, so means that it is situated in one's body. He is master, he is enjoyer. Bharta, master, Bhokta, enjoyer. Maybe you remember the verse in 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse 5.29, the formula of peace, where it is also said, Bhoktaram Yageta Pasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So these two aspects of Supreme Lord are also mentioned there in verse 5.29, and it is repeated here. It is normal that when some important essential things are repeated again and again, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam, all yagyas and all tapasyas are meant for Supreme Bhokta, for Krishna. Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Maha Ishwaram. He is Maha Ishvara, or Supreme Controller, or of Sarvaloka, all the planets, all the worlds. He is controller, Bharta. He is master. So the same thing is repeated here. It is important to repeat some essential things again and again. And in purport, Srila Prabhupada writes what he is writing here. The living entity can be situated either in the material energy or in the spiritual energy. As long as he is conditioned by the material energy, the Supreme Lord, as his friend, the Super Soul, stays with him just to get him to return to the spiritual energy. The Lord is always eager to take him back to the spiritual energy, but due to his minute independence, the individual entity is continually rejecting the association of spiritual light. This misuse of independence is the cause of his material strife in the conditioned nature. The Lord, therefore, is always giving instruction from within and from without. From without, he gives instructions as stated in Bhagavad Gita, and from within he tries to convince the living entity that his activities in the material field are not conducive to real happiness. Just give it up and turn your faith toward me. Then you will be happy, he says. Thus, the intelligent person who places his faith in the Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, begins to advance toward a blissful eternal life of knowledge. So, let's put it all together. Material world is created for two purposes, as we have read from Srimad Bhagavatam. The first purpose is to give a living entity a chance to lord over material nature, a chance not to lord over, but a chance to try to lord over. Because living entity cannot lord over material nature. Basically, material nature is controlling living entity on each and every step. But living entity honestly is trying to control material energy. But material energy, Mahamaya, is much more powerful. So it is the first purpose, and the second purpose is to help living entity to come back to spiritual light, to spiritual abode. It is the purposes of material world, and Paramatma, who is nearby living entity all the time, always with us, Paramatma is trying to inspire living entity to accept spiritual life. If we met devotees, if we met book distributors on the street, or some Harinama devotees or whatever, or someone gave us a book or whatever, it is all Krishna's arrangement, because Krishna is always nearby. He is trying to arrange this, to arrange everything which is needed for conditioned living entity to come back to Krishna. So he's trying to help. And living entity can be rebellious, means he can reject or he can accept. And in Nectar of Devotion book, you will get to know that basically this spiritual qualification to perform devotional service, there is particular chapter in Nectar of Devotion which is about the qualification to perform devotional service. The main qualification is Bhakti Sukriti. Main qualification is Bhakti Sukriti, means that knowingly or unknowingly we should be engaged in devotional service in our past, and then we have some skaras, some experience which will help us to accept Krishna consciousness in future. It is not that each and every living entity is able to accept Krishna consciousness immediately, but if someone just accepted some small portion of prasadam, or if someone just took a book, or even just took a book, read few pages, and then gave this book to his friend, and that's all. Anyway, he has got some Bhakti Sukriti, and this Bhakti Sukriti will help him in future to accept Krishna consciousness, or at least to get a chance to get a little next little portion of Bhakti Sukriti, and then it will be gradually accumulated, and finally person can take to Krishna consciousness. Verse 13.24.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, I have one question, Prabhu.
Yes, please ask
Prabhu,
the question.
Yeah, in the text 23, I'm reading the first paragraph, the last 4 lines. Without the sanction of the Supreme Soul, the individual soul cannot do anything. The individual soul is Bhukta or the sustained, and the Lord is Bhukta or the maintainer. So my question here is, now a lot of things are disasters happening in the world, war, this and that and everything. So is that be a sanction by the Lord, or individually somebody is trying to create problems?
You are asking about war, right?
Yeah. I mean, anything bad,
anything bad. Very nice question. We will. You see, okay, we are not going to the next verse because basically time is almost over. We'll just take your question, and maybe some more questions if devotees, if you have the questions. Well, you see, material world is a particular place where living entities are trying to be supreme personalities of Godhead. That's why they are always creating troubles to each other. If we are speaking about a situation or place where everything goes according to Krishna's desire, this place is called spiritual world. Because the essence of relationships between living entities in spiritual world and Supreme Lord are that living entities are enjoying to serve Krishna. They are accepting their natural position. And here, in material world. Yes, instead of these things, we have living entity has 6 so-called friends of material life: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Moha. Right? Again, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Moha. 6. Kama means lust. Krodha means anger. Kama, Krodha. What the next? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, greedy, to be greedy. To be greedy. Moha, Matsarya means to be envious. Moha means to be in illusion. And what else? The 6th one. Kama, Krodha.
Mada.
Mada. Mada means madness. Yeah, thank you very much. Means madness. So it is the situation in material world. It is natural that living entities will be torturing each other. And that's why it is important point, important question which you are asking. We are saying Krishna is controlling everything. But to say Krishna is controlling everything, it absolutely doesn't mean that everything which is going on in material world is approved by Krishna. It is just allowed to happen, but it is not his real desire, Krishna's desire. It is just allowed to happen because it is material world and living entities there. Each and every living entity is trying to lord over material nature and other living entities. And because of that, they are suffering and giving sufferings to each other. And then this karmic cycle is working on, and those who were giving sufferings to others, they will suffer in future, and this exchange is going on again and again. Basically, there is no way out from this exchange. The only way out is to take to Krishna consciousness. Then Krishna mercifully will take us out from this nightmare of materialistic life. You see?
The question, because of this, problems happening, even the devotees also become the big victims.
Yeah, victims. They should be intelligent enough to avoid dangerous situations. They should not be too much transcendental. They should have some material knowledge about what situations can be, and I don't know, some precautions to protect themselves from criminals, from crooks, and so on and so on. So to be mature in spiritual life means to be able to be present simultaneously in spiritual dimension, but in material dimension also. We should be conscious of different material circumstances of our life also. It takes time to get this experience, or sometimes people, they are already experienced from material point of view, and then they just join to Krishna consciousness, and they get just spiritual experience which they are lacking. But actually, till we are in material world, we should know how it works, and should not be too much idealistic about how it is arranged, you know. Okay, Hare Krishna. Do we have some more questions, dear devotees? Do we have some more questions? Okay, maybe questions will be later, maybe next time, next lesson means day after tomorrow. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I'm very grateful to you for your attention, and to our beloved government that electricity is there, and we are able to have your association and to conduct this session till the end. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasinubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. See you day after tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.